This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 245 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. American Idol Kristy Lee Cook. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Howdy, Helena.
Howdy, Glenn. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited today.
Why? Well, I know why, but tell everybody why.
We got Kristy Lee Cook, American Idol on. And, you know, I think that the year she was in was probably the last year. It was the seventh season, probably 2008. Was the last year that Jennifer and I actually watched it together. We would watch it every year. We'd go to the concerts every year. But then they started messing around with the judges, and, you know, we didn't even watch it at all this year.
Yeah, I haven't turned it on in...
Yeah, you used to be a big fan, too.
I used to be, yeah. And now it's just... Well, once they changed all the... You know, it was... Once Paula left, things just kind of went there.
Now, I liked J-Lo last year. I thought she was really good, but I cannot watch Nicki Minaj talk. I cannot listen to her talk or look at her. So
I can't stand her. I cannot stand her.
Her voice is just so weird. She has the weirdest, squeakiest voice. And then the thing she says, I go, what? I just don't understand her.
What? I know, exactly. I have a distaste for her.
So what I've been doing this year is occasionally I'll get on YouTube and watch some of the contestants just do their songs and not watch any of the other stuff. Because they do have a really good crop of contestants this year. You know, it's down to 4 women. So there will be a woman that wins this year for the first time in a long, probably since Carrie Underwood. So I think that's exciting. But Kristy Lee Cook's joining us. Of course, she's a horse girl.
Yeah.
And she's going to be joining us today. Plus, I have some man rules for you that one of our listeners posted on one of our pages, and I thought I would share them because I think that they are appropriate and sticking up for the guys. Plus Lindsay,
they're funny. If they're not appropriate, at least they're funny.
Plus, Lindsay White from Riders for Helmets campaign has a special announcement for us. So that's all coming up today. Plus, you have a product for Tack and Habit.
I do indeed. Something that could be quite yummy.
Yummy.
Well,
food?
It could help with yummy.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't be yummy itself. It could help with yummy.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, let's get right to it. We're going to go off to Lindsay White from the Riders for Helmets campaign with an important announcement that our listeners are going to want to participate in. And I have Lindsay with me from the Riders for Helmets campaign. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Glenn.
Every year about this time, you stop by and tell us about wonderful things that can happen for people.
I know. I've got some pretty exciting news yet again.
Well, tell us. What is it?
Well, in honor of Riders for Helmets' 3rd anniversary, can you believe it's been 3 years? I don't know where it's gone. Anyway, and in honor of us attending Rolex, because the folks at Rolex have very generously again invited us to be at the event and promote helmet safety. We are going to do our annual whopping helmet giveaway again, so I'm super excited.
Now, are you giving away whopping helmets or a lot of helmets?
Oh, we're giving a lot of helmets.
Oh,
so
okay.
You never know. There might be a whopping helmet in there too.
That's a size I'd take, whopping.
No, so we are really excited. We actually have over $10,000 in retail of helmets we're giving away.
Wow, you're getting serious about this.
We are, and we're also going to be giving away an iPad as well. So we're really excited.
Wow, that's terrific. Now, it used to be in the past, I think the first year you did it, boy, it's been so many years, I don't remember how it all worked. but you used to have to be at Rolex to win it in Kentucky. Is that the case anymore?
No, we're going to have a registration for the giveaway both on the website, riders the number 4 and then helmets with an s.com. And then also you can register at the booth at Rolex as well. The giveaway actually won't be posted probably until tomorrow. So for those who might listen to that before. But actually to win the iPad, that will only be given away through, I believe, at the booth, but all the helmets can be given away online as well.
Okay, so it's going to be at ridersforhelmets.com?
Yes.
And all I have to do is register, and you have a bunch of different brands too. Usually do anyway.
We do, yes. I think we're going to have Charles Owen, Troxel, Tipperary, Ovation, 1K. Oh my gosh, I'm going to forget somebody and be in so much trouble. Sam Shield. So quite a lot of helmets.
And they just you basically just pick winners out of a hat. Is that what you've done in the past?
Yes, we do. Okay. We actually, from all the entries that come in online, they actually get printed into a spreadsheet. And then believe it or not, from there, they all get separated off and printed out. It's like a nightmare. It takes forever, but we do it because we like to keep things fair. And then they all go in a hat, and literally the entries from the booth and from online entries, that's how we actually pick our winner, is completely randomly.
I don't think that people would care if you just closed your eyes and pointed to the spreadsheet. I think
they probably wouldn't, but believe it or not, that's how we did it last year. It took hours, let me tell you. I don't think people realize.
One of the things that Lindsay always has had a propensity for, since I've known her for years now, is overcomplicating everything to create more work for herself.
I do that. I'm not quite sure why. I really do that, but I'm not kidding you that we had, several thousand entries online last year, and literally they got printed out onto those little sticker things, cut up, and then put into a thing. And you have no idea how long that took.
Okay, why don't you just print them out, lay out all the sheets of paper around your floor, and throw darts?
I think I might do that, yes. Yeah. But I might even do it blindfolded to, make things...
Well, yeah, if you're going to do it blindfolded and you're throwing darts at your floor, make sure the cat's put away, okay?
Yes, I don't appreciate that. I'll probably wear, steel toe caps as well.
Now, tell us a little bit, too, where the Riders for Helmets campaign is at this point. You guys have accomplished so much in just 3 years. You said it seems like a long time, and I'm sure for you it does. But yet, in the scope of getting things done, the things that you've accomplished and the influence that you've had over getting rules changed and things like that has been amazing for an organization that's only 3 years old.
I mean, firstly, I obviously would like to thank everybody that supported the campaign for the last 3 years, but it is quite exciting at where the campaign's at the moment. Obviously, to celebrate our 3rd anniversary and still be going from strength to strength in growth is amazing. And I was just looking at the website statistics yesterday, actually, and we've had over 46,000 unique visitors to the website in the last 40 days. Wow. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And there's equestrians coming in from all over the globe to that website on a regular basis. We held our 4th safety symposium this spring. We'll be doing our 4th, I really don't know how these things come around so quickly, International Helmet Awareness Day this summer, which we're not quite ready to announce the date yet, but watch this space. So it's just amazing. The growth of the campaign shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon, and it's just wonderful to get so much support.
Well, and I really like the stories that you get and that people tell on your Facebook page, and also that you post on the website. There's some amazing stories of people who have worn helmets and not worn helmets, and the results of both after they fall off or get kicked.
I think, and I think those stories are probably the ones that have the most impact over anything that we put out there. I mean, we have some great educational feature articles, but the ones that really get the most shares and you really see the most impact from are those that are written by everyday equestrians, and they share their story. And then when people read them, they'll write you an email and say, I've just gone and bought my first helmet after watching after reading one of the stories or watching a video on the website. It's amazing. I mean, it really does have an impact. And Courtney produced 2 new videos for the campaign, which can be found under her section on the website. Back in February, and just they're getting terrific views already. I mean, her video from last year, I think, has had 60,000 plus views on YouTube now.
And that's Courtney King Dye, of course, you're talking about there.
Courtney King Dye.
Yeah. Well, and she was, of course, the one that really was the impetus for getting this all started after her accident. And has been a supporter all along and is doing pretty well. We talked to her on the show, I think around Christmas time, and she was in really good spirits when we talked to her. She
is. I mean, Courtney's such a trooper, and she's been so wonderful that, she continues to promote and educate helmet awareness, in spite of her suffering a traumatic brain injury. She's put it to good use, and I think that's just amazing.
Well, very good. So this is Riders, the number 4 helmets.com is where you register to win a helmet. Hop on over there today. There's a ton of them to give away, over $10,000 worth this year. That's just amazing. That's a lot of helmets. So hop on over to Riders, number 4 helmets.com. Thanks, Lindsay. That's a lot of helmets. So the address again was Riders, the number 4 helmets.com is where you go register to win your helmet. So, and I know last year I knew a couple of the people that ended up winning helmets, and they were very, very excited about it because some of the helmets, those Charles Owens helmets, you're talking $400 or $500.
Oh, they're beautiful, gorgeous, worth every penny, but even better if you can win them.
Yes, get them for free. What are you riding? What helmet do you use now?
I ride in my Charles Owen Air 8.
Do you?
I love
you
it.
Still have your Air 8? Okay.
I still have my Air 8. Yes, I love it.
And it's holding up, and you're still liking it?
Yep. Yeah. I love it very much.
Cool.
Yes. Yep.
I still use my Troxel. I had gotten one of the ones that has the leather covering.
And the manly, cool, the Sierra, right?
The Sierra, that's right. And I use that in the winter and spring. In the summer, I can't use that one. That's too hot.
Yeah.
So I use a different, lighter weight one in the summer. But I definitely use that one when I need to look good or for pictures. Because I need all the help I can get.
When I need to look good.
I need all the help I can get.
Yes, that's true. We all do. We all need help every now and again, unless you're Heidi Klum. But
hey, I got somebody who want to say hi to you. Rhonda from Canada. I met with Jennifer and I met her and her husband Jason at Disney World. We ate at England in Epcot last Thursday night, and she said to say hello.
Oh, good. Yes. Hello, Rhonda. And I saw that lovely picture of you guys on Facebook. In fact, it was nice to see you with Rhonda and her husband, you and Coach Jen. But I had to note that Coach Jen was looking very cute in her little outfit.
She was wearing a sporty outfit, which is very unlike her. She was actually wearing a skirt, and it turned out it was a tennis skirt. She didn't know that when she bought it. She bought this outfit because it was cool and comfortable for going to Disney. And she discovered that, she said, I don't know what this upside down pocket is underneath the skirt in the shorts part.
Yeah.
It had an upside down pocket. And I said, that's a tennis skirt. That's for your ball.
For your tennis ball.
So, yes, she was looking sporty that day.
It looks really cute on her, though. Like, it's all matchy, and she's all happy and stuff. It's really adorable.
We had a great time with those guys. We had a wonderful dinner, and they were headed off right after the next day, I think, to their 7-day cruise on one of the Disney ships.
Oh. So
they had done a 4-day cruise, come for 4 days to Disney, and then back on a 7-day cruise. 2 cruises in 2 weeks. That's kind of nice. I gained about 100 pounds.
What, from eating?
Yeah, on the ship. Ugh.
Yeah.
Food is so good. And she said the desserts and everything are just wonderful. So, and we got to see at Epcot, they have their big laser light show every evening. And we were seated at the restaurant at England in Epcot, and it's right along the water. And I don't know who she knows, but she got it. So we had tables that were right on the edge. So we were sitting there overlooking the lake, and the fireworks show was right in front of us. So it was really, really nice because it gets so crowded around the edge to that lake to watch. You would sometimes end up standing 4 or 5 deep. So we had the best seats in the house.
How do you do it? I don't know how you do it.
Rhonda did it all. She's the Disney fanatic. They are fanatics. They make us look like we don't like Disney at all.
Really?
Yes, they are totally Disney nuts.
That's awesome. Like, I thought you guys were the ultimate Disney fans.
They listen to all the I listen to one Disney podcast. They listen to like 5. There's like multiple Disney podcasts out there, and they listen to them all, and they are Disney nerds. They know the whole thing. He is too. Jason's a super nice guy. I'd never met him before.
That's cool.
Yep.
I love that. I like when we get together with the fans. That's really nice.
Yeah, so if anybody's coming to Florida heading to Disney, let us know. Jennifer and I'll come and meet you. We will take any excuse to take a day off and go to Disney. No problem.
All right, I'll be down in a couple hours. I'm going to catch a flight.
No problem. All right, let's do this. Before we get to Kristy Lee Cook, I had one of our listeners posted on, I think it was the Horse Husbands Unite Facebook page, some man rules. And somebody wrote these down, and I thought they were dead on accurate and appropriate. Now, there's about 15 of them here. That's about...
But I couldn't tell because they're all number 1.
Yeah, it says right at the beginning, please note these are all numbered 1 on purpose. Because when I looked at it too, I went, oh, why are they all numbered 1? Because they're all of equal priority is what he's trying to say. And I only usually have 2 rules, 3 actually. Men are simple. We only care about 2 things, sex and food. This one expands upon that a little bit and actually puts some thought into it. So here we go.
Okay.
For all you women out there, take note of this.
Can I make comments on them after you say them?
Yeah, you can. Although they're all true, I don't know what you'd say. But number 1, men are not mind readers.
Agreed.
And neither are women, for that matter, either. We sometimes...
Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
We can read minds. Yes, we are. Just keep going.
Number 1, learn to work the toilet seat. You're a big girl. If it's up, put it down. We need it up. You need it down. You don't hear us complaining about you leaving it down.
That's because there are times when you need it down, too. Just saying.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. This one always bugged me because it was like, why is it my responsibility to make sure the seat's up? Now, I granted that you don't pee on the seat. I mean, I give you that. Okay,
yes.
So maybe you win that one just because of that.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'll give you that one. Now, and I think that starts too when you're kids. I grew up in a family where there were 4 boys, my father and my mother. So this was a huge deal because, all of us little kids would pee on the seat because we wouldn't bother to put it up. So it was a huge deal in our house, the whole seat up thing. And I can appreciate, I pity my poor mother.
Yeah. Well, she's the mom. And all right.
Number 1, crying is blackmail.
Agreed.
But boy, it works so well for
it does.
You guys.
We can't help it. We use it to our advantage, right? It's something that just happens, so we might as well make it work for us.
Now, you're not a squishy, gushy, overly gushy kind of girl.
I'm sorry. Who have you been working with for the last 10 years?
No, but I mean, you're not one of the. Oh, are you?
I am.
You put on a front then. You put on your Italian face. And
you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna invoke astrology here. Apparently, I have a Taurus rising sign. So there's how you are really, how you appear to other people, and then how you appear to yourself. So my rising sign is a Taurus, and so I appear to other people as a little bit of a bull.
Yeah, I give you that. That's true.
A little bit bullish, but really, I'm a true Cancer. I'm really mushy on the inside, super sensitive, totally emotional. Yeah. I cry at Hallmark commercials. I love everybody. I want there to be magic in the world and sparkly goodness, and I cry.
Now, do you cry intentionally as blackmail?
No.
Okay. So you don't use that. It's not.
I cannot control my crying.
Okay, it's not a tool.
But no, it's not a tool.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
There is no but.
Did you see? Speaking of how you see yourself, those 3 things you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the video I posted on Facebook? Here, I'll put it on our Stable Scoop page of the artist. That video of the artist who drew the women.
No,
he was a police sketch artist. This is a fascinating video. I think it was I'm trying to remember who it was for. It was maybe a cosmetics company or something. But he brought women in, and he couldn't see them. They were on the other side of a screen. And he had them describe themselves, and he drew them. Now, this is a police artist, so he's good at, that kind of thing. And he would talk to him, and he would get the description, and he drew him. And then they had all met other women and had paired off and done a little thing before they came in the room. They brought their pairing person, another woman, into the room, and that woman then described the one who had just been in.
Huh.
Then he took those two drawings, the one the woman described herself and the one of the person who had just met her described her, and you would not believe the difference. And then they hung them up together, and they brought these women back in to see how they see themselves and how others see them. And I'll tell you what, it was these women broke down in tears when they saw how they see themselves as compared to how others see them.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It was very emotional and very strong, and of course women saw themselves as fatter, with rounder faces, and with just in general uglier. And it was amazing, and it was every one of them. And he did about 20 sets of these, and it was every one of them. It was amazing to see the difference and to see their faces when they looked at, because they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know this was going to be the ultimate outcome.
Right.
So it was very, very interesting. And it speaks to what you just talked about. How we see ourselves is much different than how other people see us.
Yeah.
And it's usually worse. Our version of ourselves is worse. Okay, number 1, ask for what you want. Let us be clear on this one. Subtle hints don't work. Strong hints don't work. Obvious hints don't work. Just tell us. Yeah, we're not real good at the hint thing.
Yeah. All right.
No. You give me that one.
Yeah. All right.
Number 1, yes or no are perfectly acceptable answers to almost every question. This one drives me nuts with my wife. I'm just like, just give me a yes or no. All I want's a yes or no. I don't really care. I just want a yes or no. All
right.
I don't want conditions. I don't want all that stuff. I just want a yes or no because I don't want to decide. Just you decide.
Because I don't want to decide. I have no opinion on that.
That's right. I don't really care. We care about sex and food. If it doesn't involve that, tell me yes or no. Come to us with a problem only if you want to help solving it. That's what we do. Sympathy is what your girlfriends are for.
I
like that one.
I know. I don't like that one. It's true, but I don't like it.
Number 1, anything we said 6 months ago is inadmissible in an argument. In fact, all comments become null and void after 7 days.
Nope,
you
no way.
Women
Not
have the
you
longest memories in the world.
Yep.
10 years later.
Nope, you get nothing. That strike that man rule.
And that's Italian coming out there, too. You Italians, you remember for 20 years.
Yeah, yes, we do. In fact, we never forget.
No.
It's just a blanket statement. We never forget. Italian women never forget.
I got to give Jennifer. She's pretty good about that. If you think you're fat, you probably are. Don't ask us. So
true, because, all right.
If you have to ask, don't ask.
Right.
If something we said can be, that goes back to that video I just talked about. If something we said can be interpreted 2 ways, and one of the ways makes you sad or angry, we meant the other one. If you can't either ask us to do something or tell us how you want it done, not both. Or, you can either ask us to do something or tell us how you want it done, not both. If you already know best how to do it, just do it yourself.
But then we won't be able to boss you around, and that's no fun.
That's true.
But okay, I'll give you that one.
Whenever possible, please say whatever you have to say during commercials.
Oh, man. Just turn the damn TV off. Okay, let's go ride.
Number 1, Christopher Columbus did not need directions, and neither do we.
Right. Then you can go out on your little boat and sail around in circles.
I give in on that one. I hate asking for directions. I'm just the same as every other man.
Well, nobody needs to ask for directions anymore. We all have GPSs or navigation systems on our phones.
Yeah,
so that's
wish
actually
they didn't get you lost sometimes. Ours just seems to.
Or they take you through some really seedy neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's true. She seems to want to get us killed.
Recalculating. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you get me a gun while you're at it?
Number 1, all men see in only 16 colors, like Windows default settings. Peach, for example, is a fruit, not a color. Pumpkin is also a fruit. We have no idea what mauve is. So that's blue or red or purple. That's what we see. And it's true, though, with what is with companies like Carrots and all these companies coming up with these weird names for colors. It's like a contest who can come up with the most bizarre, unintelligible names for colors.
Well, I can see that certain color. Okay, so here's what I would say. Here's the middle ground. Crayola has it right. 64 colors, right? 64 crayons.
Yeah, but there's some weird ones in there too.
64, no, like burnt sienna.
Yeah, like I have no idea what that is.
All right, fine. So then maybe 12 colors. I mean, there's obviously more than red, yellow, and blue, right? The three primary colors.
Windows,
There's pink.
you're a web designer. Windows has it right. 16 colors. Pfft, done.
16 colors. Oh my God. Well, this is actually Photoshop has it right, or not even Photoshop, but just the web has it right. You need a hex code. You need some kind of
like with
funky,
a million different colors.
infinite code.
Yeah, but they don't give them different names like burnt.
They don't. They
sienna.
just give them numbers.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Pantone. Yeah. Pantene.
Do you remember though when we first started designing websites back in the 90s, there were 16 colors, and you didn't use any variations of that. You used those 16
That's right.
colors. That was
web. There's still a web ready. I forget. I don't even use it anymore. But there's still like a web safe. That's what it is. Web safe colors,
which I think has changed a little now.
It has quite a bit, but it's still an option when you're flattening like Photoshop files and you want to save.
All right. Well, let me run through the rest of these. If we
we
by the
digress.
way, we have to get on with this.
This is a long list. No more lists for us.
These are the man rules.
Okay,
if we ask you what is wrong and you say nothing, we will act like nothing is wrong. If you ask a question you don't want an answer to, expect an answer you don't want to hear.
Okay.
That's pretty good of anybody, though. That's male or female. When we have to go somewhere, absolutely anything you wear is fine, really.
True.
Whatever you want, I don't care. Don't ask us what we're thinking about unless you're prepared to discuss football or motorsports.
No, gotta disagree. There has to be communication.
The next one of these is pretty good. You have enough clothes?
Never.
You have too many shoes? And
Never.
You do, Helena, have too many shoes.
I do not. There's no such thing.
I am in shape. Round is a shape.
Fine.
And thank you for reading this. Yes, I know I have to sleep on the couch tonight, but did you know men really don't mind that? It's like camping.
But that's okay, so if all that's really important to men is sex and food, that's half,
because we're closer to the refrigerator.
Oh, you're close to the refrigerator. So you'll give up one
Yes,
in
that's
exchange
right.
for proximity to the
As long
other.
as we have two, we're in good, or one of the two, we're in good shape.
Okay.
There you go. There's my list. I said thank you to whatever listener posted it. They knew I would love that.
Okay.
Well, let's take a break here for a commercial and go directly over to Kristy Lee Cook, American Idol and Horse Girl. She was 7th in season 7. And I think you're going to like the conversation Jennifer and I had with her. We caught up with her a couple days ago. Hi all, Glenn the Geek here, and we're excited to bring you a special offer for Horse Radio Network listeners from one of my favorite companies, and that is Audible.com. Audible.com is the premier provider of digital audiobooks. Audible has over 85,000 titles to choose from in every genre: thrillers, business, romance, comedy, sci-fi, sports, and so much more. Audible titles play on your iPhone, your Kindle, your Android, or more than 500 different devices that you can listen anytime, anywhere. My wife and I love Audible books. We've been a member of Audible since 2004 and have listened to over 100 books with Audible. What horse person, who has time as a horse person to sit down and to read a book anymore? Yet I found the time to listen to books on Audible. When I'm not listening to podcasts while I'm riding, cleaning stalls, or at the gym or driving, I'm listening to Audible books. And for the listeners of the Horse Radio Network, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/HRN. That's audibletrial.com/HRN for Horse Radio Network. And you can download your free audiobook and get your 14-day free trial today. If you can't remember that, just check out our website and you'll find a link to it right there. Enjoy your book. We know you will.
My daddy was a soldier in a foreign war, but he doesn't like to talk about it anymore. He kept a picture of my mama right by his heart. He gave it one last look before the fighting would start. He said, all I ask is that you don't forget, 'cause the war's not over when the fighting ends. There's a part of me that will always be 16. Airborne Ranger Infantry.
Well, hi, Kristy Lee. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Horse Radio Network. We appreciate you taking time out.
Hey, no problem. It's my pleasure.
Now, I just listened to Airborne Ranger Infantry again, and I'll tell you what, it makes me cry every time.
It's a powerful song.
It is, and then I was reading some of the comments underneath it, and you have affected so many people who served in every war with that song.
Yeah, it's, I didn't know what the song would do when we released it. I just kind of, wrote it for my dad and for everybody that had served and is serving, and it just kind of became, an anthem for a lot of people, and it was really neat to see how much of an impact that it had.
Well, it definitely has. Now, did you write it yourself?
I wrote it with a couple of friends of mine, Michael Logan and Luke Sheets, and we took my dad's poems and just, took pieces out of each poem and put them all together. And Michael Logan came up with the melody. It was as soon as he started playing the melody, we knew that that was it, and it was just really, really neat. The way it all came together, it was just perfect.
And it's one of those songs that sticks with you as well.
Yeah. It's definitely got a powerful and just a really kind of sad but also real lyric to it,
Well, Jennifer and I are huge fans of yours. We voted for you when you were on American Idol. As we said earlier, you were in the 7th season, and you came in 7th place. And then we got to see you on the tour, too, so that was fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was where did you guys see me at on the tour?
We saw you, was it in Massachusetts or Pennsylvania? I don't remember now where we were at the time.
Okay.
We've seen most of the tour shows. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Now,
we had a great time on it.
I was surprised when I looked and was doing my research today how long ago it was already. I was like, has it really been that long ago?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It was 2008 is when I was on there.
I know. It's been 5 years
5
already.
years ago. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, now, you did take some flack, by the way, not from us, but you took some flack because one of the things that came out in the show, and there were some horse people upset about this, is that you sold one of your horses to be able to go do the show. Now, as a point, Jennifer and I have sold horses to do things as well when we needed the money. I mean, most horse people have. There were a few out there that were like, how could you do that? Well, it's a fact of life when you're a horse person. Yeah. So
yeah, it was. I had a couple that I didn't want to sell him, and it was priorities. It was like, I've got too many horses right now, and I was going to put the other one up that I was training to sell anyways, because that's kind of something that I like to do as well. I like to get young horses or rescue a horse and retrain them and rehabilitate them, and then find them a good home. That way, I can rescue more horses. So that was kind of one thing that I had done. But this one, Montana, I bought him at an auction, and I paid $320 for him. And when I first saw him, there was just something about him that I just fell in love with. And I was not going to let the guy there buy him. He was buying all the cheap horses for slop. And so I was like, you're not getting this horse. And so I got lucky and I got him and took him home, and he was just the most animated, funny horse I've ever owned. And I didn't want to sell him. I patterned him, I trained him, he was so awesome, and I really didn't want to sell him. That's why I put 2 other ones up for sale at the same time, and I marked him up hoping that he wouldn't sell. I was kind of like, well, you know what, if somebody wants him, they're going to have to pay the money for him, because I don't want to sell him. And I honestly didn't think that somebody was going to pick him out of the other ones that I had, and they did. And they drove 6 hours and came down and rode him and fell in love with him. And the next day they bought him and took him back home, and the guy's had him ever since. He keeps in touch with me, and I'm really happy that he's got a good home. That's one of the things that I make sure that the horses get if I do, have a horse that I sell, is that I find him a good home. And so he got a good home, and that was, you know, my main priority. He keeps in touch with me all the time, and it's just really neat that he's still, you know, keeping in touch and kind of keeping me posted on how he's doing. And he actually won Horse of the Year, I think once or twice, and he broke a couple records in barrel racing up in Washington. So
Oh, cool.
he became quite the little stud horse.
That's pretty cool. Now, growing up, Kristy Lee, were you a kid who sang a lot and loved horses, or were you a horse kid who sang a lot?
I was a horse kid that sang a lot. My first experience on a horse was when I was 2 years old. I sat on a big gray racehorse up at, oh gosh, what's the old racetrack down at, in Washington? I can't remember. My dad used to work at Long Acres. And my dad used to work there when he was younger, but I sat on a big gray thoroughbred, and then I had been in love with horses ever since. And then I started, you know, I was singing when I was little, but I didn't, obviously when I was really little, I didn't like think I was going to be a singer one day. I just sang, you know, I thought that was normal. And, and so when I got a little older, when I was about 13, I had already been writing and stuff, and that's when I kind of decided that I wanted to become a singer. So, so I did.
So there you went. So did you compete? Did you have an immediate affinity for barrel racing, or did you try lots of different disciplines before you settled into barrel racing?
Most of it was, you know, when I was younger, like we didn't have a lot of money and stuff, and I rescued a little horse for $300, and she was a little Arabian. She was my first horse. And I think I was about 12. I think I was maybe 11. I was riding my friend's horses up until then, but when I got about 11 or 12, I was able to get my own horse, and I did all my own training, and I had a, lady where I was boarding help me with midnight, and kind of at that age, I was more of the, like, let's go off into the mountains in the middle of nowhere by ourselves kind of person. So I was very brave and had a lot of crazy experiences, and that horse was like my guardian angel at times. And, we had just so many experiences. I mean, I was homeschooled, so after school, I would literally go ride up in the mountains for like 5 hours in the mountains by myself, and it was just, it was an experience, but it was a lot of fun. So I was more of like a trail riding crazy person.
Do you know how many of our listeners right now are jumping up and down and screaming and give their eye teeth to have grown up like that?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better way of, homeschooling was so great because I had the one-on-one attention, and I had more time with my family and my mom, and actually school wasn't as long. I didn't have the peer pressure, and it made my morals and everything else just strong, and I learned a lot. And then it was like, man, when school was over, I still played, sports with the high school, and I went to all the dances, but I was just like, y'all have, all these class breaks and hours and hours of school, and I'm riding my horse in the mountains. It was really fun.
Well, most parents want their kids to get into horses, especially girls, because they find boys later. Did that happen with you too?
I got my first boyfriend when I was 17.
Oh, well, then it worked.
Yeah. He played baseball. I was playing softball.
So now you also do some trick training, because I just saw a picture that you posted on Twitter or Facebook. I don't know which one of you beside a horse that was sitting down. You find that fun? Is that a good time?
Yeah. Every horse that I get in, that I rescue or whatnot, or I'm training, I always lay them down. It just kind of helps them to trust you, and it kind of teaches them that they, like a lot of horses I've gotten in, they've had a bad life previously and they don't trust humans. And so they fight really hard, and it's a matter of like giving in and just, going, okay, I'm choosing to do this, like I like to give horses opportunities to make their own choices. And instead of just telling them what to do, I like to give them the option, and then they can decide, and it's just a lot of my horses that have come in, and a lot of them that have gone out, once they've laid down, it just changes their attitude a lot on trust, and it just helps them a lot. It's really weird. I don't know what it is, but it's like being reborn again kind of thing. You get them down and you just pet them all over, and it's a lot of fun. And I know the friend of mine that taught me how to do that was Dan James' Double Dan Horsemanship.
Oh yeah, we've had Dan on.
Yeah. So he's a good buddy of mine. He's one of my best friends, and
what a small
he taught me a
world.
lot.
Yeah.
I know.
Road to the Horse, Dan James. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a small
him.
world.
So yeah.
Well, fast forward a few years, post American Idol, Kristy Lee Cook, musician and country music star, is now crazy busy and, judging by your Facebook page, travels continuously 24/7. How has the role that the horses in your life has that changed from Kristy Lee, the horse gal who sang a lot, to Kristy Lee, the musician who has horses?
It's a lot different, I will tell you, because horses are kind of my therapy, and they just make me so happy. And singing makes me so happy, but it also can be very stressful. And so I really like to get away and, have horses. Unfortunately, I don't have any horses here in Tennessee. All my horses are being ridden by my best friend. She's going to go for her pro card this year with a couple of my burro horses. And so it's just kind of, it's sad because I don't get to see them, but I'm also debating on bringing one over here because it's just torture being here without any of my animals. And so it's really different, because I am so busy, but I wanted to be smart about it. If I did bring a horse, I didn't want him to just sit and, never see me. So it's really a lot of process trying to figure out when's a good time to bring it, if I should. And, I don't want to bring one over here and them see me once a month. So I'd have to find somewhere that would work them and give them attention. And that's hard to do too. So, it's a totally different world than the other way around when I was, it was horses, now it's work. And then, maybe every now and then I get to go play.
There you go. Well, all the better for it. So you were on American Idol, and many, many, many folks all over the world idolized you because you got to live that dream of becoming a musician. Do you have a horse idol, somebody in the horse universe that really had a huge influence on you, or that you would love to meet someday?
I do have somebody that was a great influence on me, working me with horses. He taught me how to cut. His name's Punk Carter out of Texas. He's a Hall of Fame cutting trainer. And he used to be a judge at the NCHA. And he's a very good person. His whole family is just amazing. And, I kind of looked up to him, and I learned how to cut from him. And he was my coach, and it was just a lot of fun being able to work with somebody of his status, because he's a very big trainer. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's in the Hall of Fame, and he just has amazing horses. And he's kind of one of the ones that I looked up to growing up, horse wise. And I would, I'm trying to think if there's someone that I wanted to meet, because the other person that I really admire their training is obviously Dan, because I think it's amazing that their horses, what they can do, they can do it with. I went riding with him down in Australia one time, and I was on his horse bareback and bridleless going on a trail ride, and I'm like, okay, if I had my horse doing this right now, he's a racehorse, and I swear, I would die because he would just be racing through the mountains. And he's like, okay, touch her here to stop and touch her here to and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, what if I forget and I touch him where he's supposed to go faster instead of stop? So, they're so trained, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And so I definitely look up to him and his training techniques because, obviously this last year he had a rough go. I know Dan really well, and I know his ability to train, and I know that for where he placed this year, and watching that little horse he was working, he had a really, really tough horse. And sometimes you just get those, sometimes you just get the look of the draw and it's a bad horse and they're just stubborn as, it's just, but yeah, he's definitely probably one of the best trainers I've ever seen. So I look up to his training for sure.
And of course, you're talking about Road to the Horse this year, where we just had Guy McLean on, I think, last week. And we've followed Guy since he's come over here. And of course, he and Dan are very good friends. And fellow Australians, but they know each other pretty well, and they do some things together, and they do make a good team. And of course, they were a team last year. Well, Kristy Lee, thank you so much for joining us and talking about your horses. We really appreciate it. It's good to hear your voice back,
no problem.
and that you're.
I know.
You know what it did do? It gave you time to spend with your horses over the last couple of months. Things always happen for a reason, right?
Oh man, I'm telling you what, that was the best break. I was with my horses for about 3 months, and it was really nice. But I didn't like not talking, that stuff.
We did get to see pictures of you riding into town. Was it a fast food or a ice cream place you ride through? I forget now.
Well, every time we'd haul into town, we go to the fairgrounds and work at the arena. And, in town there was a Dairy Queen and a Dutch Brothers coffee stand, and we always went to Dairy Queen and Dutch Brothers. That's kind of our thing. And it's a lot of fun. We're walking on the sidewalk and stopping at the light, waiting for it to turn green. And I've always ridden in towns, and it's been, it's just something that's so much fun. And it's funny because it's, that's kind of how it was back in the day, and people should do it more often because it's super fun.
Thank you, Kristy Lee. We appreciate you being on. Kristy Lee Cook, give out your website.
Oh, it's KristyLeeCook.com. And thank you for having me on anytime.
'Cause the war's not over when the fighting ends. There's a part of us that will always be just boys in a hole with our M16s. Haunted souls and memories. Airborne Ranger Infantry.
So, wonderful interview with Kristy Lee Cook. It's nice to have a real celebrity on our show. And now we are going to, what do we have next? We have Tack and Habit. And this Tack and Habit segment is sponsored by The Barnworks, marketing services and more for small businesses. You can check us out online at thebarnworks.com.
Very good. And you have the product for today.
I do have a product, and it's kind of interesting. I said it could help with food, with eating, but it's not something you can eat. It's actually something that can help you prepare your foods. I actually found this product while searching for things for Chasing a Fox, another little business venture that I'm associated with. And they're equestrian bit-handled serving boards or cutting boards. They're gorgeous, like cutting boards, wooden cutting boards. And you know how they have like meat carving boards? For Thanksgiving, you carve your turkey and it's got the channels around them to catch the juice and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, these boards are made from absolutely beautiful woods, like really gorgeous mahogany and maple woods, and that they're accented on the end. Instead of a handle, the handle is actually a bit, a snaffle bit.
So they like take half the bit, or
no, they take the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And they actually there's two handled carving boards, and then there's one handled carving boards. But the woods are absolutely stunning. And you can use them as a serving board, you can use them as a carving board, and they have all different kinds and all different sizes. But so in other words, if you wanted to hang it up in your kitchen, if you're the kind of chef or foodie who likes to display his or her servingware, this would actually make a gorgeous addition to anybody's kitchen. And it works. It's functional and it's beautiful.
Who are they made by?
They are made by a company called Soundview Millworks, and they're based in Darien, Connecticut. And they make a variety of really nice custom wood products. They
I'm actually on their website checking out some of the boards they have here, and you're right. I guess the bits are not loose. They don't use broken bits. That's so the bits are sturdy.
They're sturdy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They actually do function as handles.
Yeah.
And so, but you can see how beautiful the woods are.
Yeah,
they
they
have
are.
like, and it's hardwood. It's not something that's it's mostly maple. And then they have accented with mahogany, which it's stunning. And then they have these beautiful carvings. So they have ones with like lobsters on them and swordfish. And then, of course, they have the equestrian.
And you're right, you can get different sizes. So if you want a cheese board or if you want to go a little larger and have a full-size cutting board, you can do that as well.
But I mean, these make absolutely amazing one-of-a-kind gifts. Like no one's ever gonna, you're gonna go down in history if you give one of these as a gift. Now, they're expensive as far as carving boards go, but they're not terribly expensive in terms of one-of-a-kind gifts. So a small one might be $70, and then the largest of the large, which is huge, would be $115. So the small is 10.5 inches. It's 10.5 by 13.5 by 13, and it's about 3/4 of an inch thick. And the large one is 15 inches by 20 inches, and that's 1 inch thick. So these are pretty.
Yeah, that's like 2 feet long.
Yeah, these are hefty. I call them works of art. They're absolutely beautiful. So I think they make a lovely gift. Worth the pennies. I would use them. SoundviewMillworks.com, and they're the equestrian bit boards.
Yeah, they are beautiful. My dad and brother my brother still builds custom kitchens for a living, and my dad used to do a lot of woodworking and do things similar to this, and it is difficult to get the patterns that they have in here.
Yes,
they use the wood to do that, and it's just time consuming, and that's why these are a classier gift.
Yeah, they're all handmade. And one of the really nice things about the company, and this is what really attracted me to Soundview Millworks, was that they work with local mill shops and lumber yards, and they take all of the trimmings and the shorts, so the excess from the mills and the lumber yards, and so they use it, which is they're really cutting down on waste, which I think is wonderful. So they use American maple, Santos mahogany, and so that's quality wood. All their stuff is they like whatever their processes and the things that they purchase, the raw materials that they purchase, follow the Forestry Stewardship Council standards, which it's just a governing body that helps promote responsible management and of like sustainable forestry. They're not clear cutting and leaving a barren land. So I think that's really it's really nice.
Well, you can find them at soundviewmillworks.com, seems to be the website.
Yep. And we'll post links to that as well as photos.
Soundviewmillworks.com. Well, there's a different one. We have never done anything like that before. Now you're finding all this cool stuff now that you're looking around the internet a lot.
Yes, I am looking around the internet quite a bit.
Because I had not seen this one before. That's terrific.
Cool.
Very good. Thank you, Helena. And thank you, everybody, for joining us again this week. We really appreciate you being here. Don't forget that we have 8 different shows on the Horse Radio Network. You can find them all at horseradionetwork.com. And right now, you know what's going on, and we're not there as Rolex.
I know. That's a first. We're not at Rolex.
I know. We just decided that we had too much going on right now to make the trip up to Lexington. It used to be 4 miles from my house, but can't do that anymore. So we hope everybody has a terrific weekend out there. It's a little chilly. It's in the 50s and low 60s there. And, you and I have been to Rolex at all different weather. They have, one year we had tornado warnings and they kicked everybody out of the park.
Oh, gosh. I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'll get everything from excessive heat to cold. And in one year, years ago, it actually snowed a little bit. So, which was unusual at the end of April in Lexington.
Yeah.
But we wish everybody the best that's out at Rolex. And then, of course, next week is the Kentucky Derby, and we'll be doing a little coverage of that on Horses in the Morning this coming week. So if you tune into Horses in the Morning, we're going to have several different guests all talking about the Run for the Roses at next Saturday in Louisville.
Run for the Roses.
Yay, we love the Kentucky Derby. Jennifer and I sit down and we get our adult beverages and we watch it every year for sure. That's one
Adult
of the things.
beverages. You guys have been drinking a lot of adult beverages lately. Florida must
We
do
live
that
in
too.
Florida. It's required.
Yeah.
Actually, we might have 2 or 3 wine coolers a week. We're real alcoholics down here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
2 or 3 a
We're
week.
stretching it. I actually had a alcoholic beverage at dinner the other night with Rhonda.
Yeah.
And I was
What'd you
feeling a
have?
little tipsy after. It was something, I don't know, it was some exotic thing with a bunch of different alcohols.
Right.
Sort of like a Long Island iced tea kind of thing.
Yeah, just stay away from anything with sugar in it.
That one got me, and I only needed one, so I'm a lightweight now.
Yeah, I'm a lightweight. I have a new drink. I have a big
Yeah?
girl drink now.
Yeah?
I was never much of a drinker. I mean, we joke about like having wine and stuff, but I really,
Yeah, that's about the most we ever
yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm barely 5'3", 5'3", and so a half a glass of red wine would put me under the table. But so I was never really a big drinker. However, once I hit a certain age group, I decided that I was going to live a little, and expand my. Well, I want to expand all my horizons. So my food horizons. I've actually eaten sushi now, like real sushi.
Wow.
Hot peppers on purpose. So I'm really expanding. And then, now my new drink.
Oh, so beyond Boone's Farm wine now, we're going to something new?
Yes, we're going to
Okay.
something new. This is seriously big girl drink. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. My new favorite drink is a dirty vodka martini.
Ooh, that's straight up stuff. That's like drinking hairspray.
It's okay. Grey Goose vodka,
Yep.
which is very smooth. It's not as like, when you drink it, it doesn't give you that heat in your chest that most vodkas give you. So Grey Goose with olive juice.
Two
That's
of
what
those
makes-
would put you under the table.
No,
No?
I've had 2, and in fact, I had 3.
Oh, wow. You were really stepping out.
I wasn't driving,
Yeah.
but I had 3, and I was fine. Granted, it was over a 12-hour period. But I'm like, I love salt. I love olives. And so it's really just vodka with olive juice in it.
Yeah, that's like an Italian drink right there.
I don't know. I've never had a martini in my life. I've never even had like a gin martini.
Mm-hmm.
So, or I might have had it once thinking I was cool and it was like sucking gasoline out of the pump. But I don't know what made me think about it. So I guess I saw it on a menu somewhere and it described the olive juice and I must have been having a salt craving. So I said, let's give it a try. And I said, damn, this is good. And now that's my new drink. I'm a big girl.
You're a big girl now. Wow. You're growing up, Helena.
I know. Dirty vodka martinis. But you can mess it up. So if your bartender brings you a dirty vodka martini, it should taste not like high octane gasoline.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right. Should actually have some flavor to it, not just alcohol flavor.
Right. It should taste like olive juice.
When we lived in Lexington, we go to the bourbon tastings, the bourbon distilleries, and they'd do tastings. And they always made a mistake at the bourbon distilleries because they'd give you the cheap stuff and then the medium stuff, and then you get to taste the good stuff. And by the time you taste the cheap stuff and the medium stuff, the good stuff just tastes like, as you said, high octane alcohol. I mean, it just don't taste the same after a while. After you get that taste in your mouth, and I'm not a big bourbon person anyway. It just sort of all tastes like, And now I'm a fruity drink guy. I'm a girly drink guy. Jennifer always makes fun of me.
You just have to be careful with that sugar.
I know she makes fun
That's
of me.
what knocks you out.
I like girly drinks. All right, Helena, that's enough talk about alcohol. We're out of here.
We
Talk
are
to you again
outta
next
here.
week.
Yeah, we'll be back. Until then, happy scooping.